there weren't that many times where there were speedy enough guys to in like right behind the front four to like try and actually take down Hurts in space. And it's like you
They
can't
didn't have a spy that was
that's
effective at
exactly like
all.
there was no spy or robber or anyone like that could actually come down and intimidate or attack Hurts in space. And it showed that whenever he just was able to either on design runs or improvise when he kept the ball, they just didn't have an answer. He was just ripping off runs at will last night.
Which is crazy because, like, Quay Walker had a really good game. That rookie
Oh yes, an
linebacker that they have out
amazing
of.
fumble, or was it interception or
No,
fumble?
he had a fumble. Well, he didn't cause the fumble, but he returned.
He
it for
returned
a
the fumble. It was a
touchdown.
great play by him.
You
for
know,
sure.
player out of Georgia and that national championship team.
So
I
much
was very
bigger
high
on
on him in
TV
the
than
draft.
so much bigger on TV than I remembered. He's
Oh, yeah.
so fast and he's huge.
Broad-shouldered,
Yeah.
tall. You don't necessarily see linebackers that always look like him.
So he's superimposing. Great play by him though. Heads up to get that fumble and bring it back.
But it wasn't enough. I mean, like,
And that's just one play. Exactly, it's one play.
the numbers for the rushing. I mean, like, this is just why I just feel like the Eagles are a dynasty in the making. We have that graphic from that trade that the stupid Saints did. But like the Eagles ran 34 times and they had 363 rushing yards in a game that did not go to overtime. Because we'll talk about Josh Jacobs in a second, who had 300 yards. But I mean, like, over 80 of those were in overtime. But, like, I mean, just take a look at this, guys. What the hell were the Saints doing? I say this as a Giants fan because I'm very nervous about this dynasty in the making in the Eagles. The Eagles received, just for the Saints to be able to get those 2 picks when they weren't taking a quarterback, the Saints' first round pick. Right now, I'm going on Tankathon. Right now, the pick that the Eagles possess is the 7th overall pick. And they are arguably the best roster in the entire NFL. They have a quarterback on the rookie deal. That might change things. But they have been, I mean, absolutely masterful in team building.
And as much as we can say it basically. I mean, take your pick in terms of places on the roster. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, like in the
talk about another, like we were just saying, those two top 1-2 punches at receiver, another elite combo.
Absolutely, and how the run game has been buttressed by probably the best offensive line in the league. Jason Kelsey at like 37, 38 years old is still probably one of, if not the best center in the league. Lane Johnson, one of, if not the best right guard in the league. Jordan Mailata, a guy who is a rugby player out of New Zealand or Australia.
You meant right tackle by Johnson.
Oh, yes, sorry,
right?
yes, right tackle. Excuse me.
Sure.
On the left side, at the left tackle spot, Mailata, like 350, 360 pounds, light on his feet. You could just tell that by the way, the combination of the burst, the intelligence, and the strength that line plays with. Some of these guys in the front four, some of these blitzers the Packers were incorporating, especially at the goal line, they couldn't do anything. These guys were steamrolling them.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were just literally pushing them into the back of the end zone. It is such a difficult thing to stop when there is a versatile run game, both from whether a running back is taking the ball or Hurts is carrying, or your other quarterback or Hurts is calling his own number, to have those guys either pin pulling, running out in space, just holding guys so the lanes stay wide open. It is just such a formidable advantage to have a blue chip offensive line across the board of that.
I mean, and I don't know if you even mentioned Landon Dickerson.
Who is a really young player out of Alabama, doing a great work for that team as well, for sure.
And they got him in the second round. They got him in the second round.
Amazing value.
And I remember when they took him, I was like, damn it. God damn it. And they're just going to do it all again. I'm sure they'll get some stud with their top 10 pick that they get from the Saints, who were just shut out. A team that was just shut out by the 49ers decided, let's trade away our first round pick next year to take another player that isn't a quarterback in this year's draft. The team... just a contrast between team building philosophies. The Saints are going to be in a hole for a while as a franchise. I really believe this was a terrible trade for them because they would have been in a prime opportunity to take a quarterback and build from there, and now they're screwed.
And this is also not even to bring up the defense also, which is
falling apart.
And the Saints needed this. I mean, like even regardless of what they would get for a return, for the lack of picks that they had and where the outlook for this franchise is, i.e., starting Andy Dalton over a healthy Jameis Winston. I mean, listen, Chris Olave is a fantastic player. He might get Offensive Rookie of the Year if not for Kenneth Walker. But there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of vision, and this move kind of just feels like, oh gosh, we don't have any picks. Yeah. Let's get 2 picks.
Right. Well, we think we can compete now with Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton, so let's beef up our roster. They misevaluated their roster.
Absolutely.
They Dave Gettleman'd it.
Absolutely.
Like, they were like, let's take a we think we can compete now with this roster. Let's take a running back second overall, right? And this is no knock on Saquon. But like the point is just, how do you misevaluate your roster to that degree? And I feel like the Saints have done that to a point that it hasn't been seen since Gettleman did it with the Giants.
Absolutely, and I think it's similar to, it's kind of similar to some of these teams where you look at, like, it's I think potentially just given Olave and we'll see what Trevor Penning becomes, for example, but like, you look at a team like the Saints team, then you look at a team like, for example, like the Panthers or the Texans or whatever, who might be younger, but you do wonder with a bunch of these franchises, like, what's the long-term plan beyond like next week?
Mm-hmm.
What is this team supposed to look like?
Right.
What's the ceiling?
At least the Texans will have 2 top 10 picks.
At least they're bad enough to actually make use of why they're so bad.
Right.
The Saints had to literally trade more value to get back into the first round because of their short-sighted decision-making that they made long ago to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're still giving up more picks to get back to where they were before they gave up more picks to get out of the first round of this next draft.
They will be a contender for worst team in the NFL next year, no doubt, in my opinion.